All right, people.
Robin Howland on income trusts.
Oh, crap!
Corporations and their consultants have had difficulty analyzing the fuck.
I'm so sorry. The asset.
Opportunities to consider and
Oh.
So a couple of weeks ago, I decided I was going to say no more often to certain things and people. And then a time came that I was supposed to say no, and I couldn't. I gave in to the very things and people I was trying to leave behind. And as a result, I started to think so low of myself. And I know there are people who can relate to this because a lot of us are out there belittling ourselves, doubting ourselves, and feeling insecure either because of our own attitude towards ourselves or how others have treated us. But the good news is that everybody, one way or the other, has traveled this path at some point in their life. And so you don't have to go down this path all by yourself. Because in this video, I'm going to share with you a step-by-step guide on how to snap out of the I am not good enough mentality and build rock solid self-esteem. First step we're going to take is for you to know that you're not alone. And let that sink in anytime you start feeling crappy about yourself, because even Michelle Obama feels crappy about herself at times. She has self-doubt many times.
And yes, every other moment I feel self-doubt.
It's one thing to doubt yourself for just a moment, and another thing to chronically think less of yourself. And this tends to happen a lot, especially when we are not able to meet certain expectations. And these expectations could either be self-imposed or sadly introduced to us by society. And unfortunately for us, we try to hold ourselves down to these expectations. It could be living up to the unwritten beauty standards of society or trying to succeed at a certain age. And so the moment you're unable to meet the standard, we start questioning our worth and wonder why we cannot be like everyone else. And yes, you cannot be like everyone because you are not everyone else. You were uniquely created and you need to flow in your own uniqueness and become whoever you want to be at your own time. You need to take that pressure off yourself because trust me, there are people out there who wish they are like you. Next step you're going to take is to work on the problem of self-belief. So I need you to stop lying to yourself with all those affirmations you be saying to yourself, because we all know that you don't believe it. It's obviously not working because you're still feeling insecure about yourself. But I need you to believe in yourself a little bit more, because the only reason why you feel like you cannot hold a candle to other people is because you don't believe that you have the capacity to do so. You don't want to walk up to certain people or go into certain places because you obviously do not trust yourself to pull this one through. You feel like because you have already messed up a couple of times, you are not in the right place to do it this time around. And it's because you don't believe in yourself. But you messing up a couple of times is not a death sentence. And so you don't have to let it hold you from putting yourself out there, because failing is part of your growth process. Believing in yourself is what is going to raise your self-esteem, and how high or low your self-esteem is also going to determine the level of confidence that you feel about yourself and project to others. Our self-esteem has this ripple effect on our self-confidence, like they are directly proportional. It's like having a bad tooth. Once your tooth aches and it's wobbly, you cannot chew properly. The same vein, if your self-esteem is crappy, if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe that you can put yourself out there, your self-confidence is going to suffer a lot. And this is why you don't have to bother faking confidence, okay? Because it's not going to work. Faking it till you make it does not always work. You need to work on the problem from the source. And that brings me to my next point, which is to work on the thing that you are most afraid of about yourself. So I don't remember the particular book where I got this quote from, but it states that if you don't know where to start with the things that you are most afraid of about yourself. And I'd like to borrow it and say that feeling insecure is a sign that you are afraid of losing something or someone or failing at something, and you have to figure that out and work on it. I was feeling so crappy and insecure about myself because I realized that I was not able to say no to food. I was overeating. And so the problem was that I had a very bad relationship with food, and I needed to work on that. Insecurity always has a root. It has some roots that you must find and take out. Otherwise, you're going to leave the root in the soil and it will sprout again. Let's say you are insecure in your relationship because you're afraid that your partner will leave you for someone more attractive. The question you should be asking yourself is that, do you think you are that unattractive? What about you is it that makes you think you are unattractive? What is making you feel unattractive? Is it your belly? Is it your weight? Is it your looks? And if the answer is no, if you think you are fairly attractive, okay, then the problem is not you. Whatever is happening is a choice that your partner has made, and you need to be at peace with that. You need to accept that. You need to accept that you are not the problem. Okay, that insecurity you are feeling is not you. You are not the problem. Somebody is making a choice, and you have to live with that choice. And so you are going to feel better about yourself if you start living with people, if you start attracting people who love you for whom you are. Let's even say it's not about your relationship, but just a random girl feeling insecure about her weight. Then can we start exercising? Can we start controlling our portions? And if you do all this and you're still not losing the weight, then can you stop eating after 10 p.m? Okay, instead of trying to sweep the problem under the rag, work on the problem, and your problem with insecurity will be solved. If you feel left out among your friends because you feel like you are less educated, then it could be that you are just hanging around with the wrong crowd. And even if you still want to hang out with them, then can you start reading more books? Can you start watching some YouTube videos? Can you take an evening class? There's a solution for every insecurity problem that we face, okay? The only problem is that we try to alleviate the symptoms and not try to kill the sickness itself. If you don't feel confident with your style and how you dress and how you look, then can you hop onto the tube and start looking up how to become elegant? Your feeling of crappiness is deeply rooted in some need that needs to be filled. Okay, and so you have to look deep within yourself and root that out before it cripples your self-belief. So next step is to stop comparing yourself to other people. I know you've heard this over and over and over again, but yes, you need to stop comparing yourself to other people. So we go about our day and we see things that we don't think much about, but in reality, those things unconsciously make us question our worth. Let's say you go on social media, you were scrolling, you saw this mate of yours who is doing extremely well for himself, more than you. And you are like, okay, that doesn't mean much. You brush it off and you go by your day. Although you did not instantly compare yourself to this person, you're going to remember this and start questioning your progress. We don't try to do it consciously, but unconsciously, that's how we've been programmed to live. We compare ourselves to people without even thinking about it. And that's how the world wants us to live. They want us to keep comparing ourselves to people because that is how they get us to consume the things that they produce. And so you need to consciously make an effort every day not to compare yourself to anyone. If you feel like you're never going to measure up because everyone around you is more pretty, more successful, has a lot of things going on for them, then you need to remind yourself that where you are right now is a prayer that somebody has been praying for every day. It is even the prayer that you used to pray, okay? If you are having a job right now, remember that there was a time you were not having a job. And so you used to pray to get that job. Now you have a job and you are feeling insecure because your colleagues are packing with cars and you come to work every day with a train. One thing is that even if you get what you are coveting right now, it's never going to be enough for you. Because the higher you go, the more you see people who have things that you wish you have. And it will never stop, okay? That cycle of comparison will never stop until you are content with yourself and what you have. Self-comparison is a never-ending trap because it's going to suck you into this black hole of materialistic cravings, which will end up making you depressed and insecure because you can never live to fulfill those demands. The key to true feeling of security is to be content with what you have. And if anything at all, self-comparison should be constructive, okay? It should be so that you will take lessons from it and you should only compete with yourself. The only person you should compare yourself to is the person that you were yesterday. You should be your own competition because competing outside yourself means that you have to start pulling resources outside yourself because you cannot afford to get them from within. There's no need to try to kill yourself to impress others because the fact is that nobody's even looking at you. Everybody is busy focused on themselves. The next step is to practice all these things that we talk about. So self-esteem, self-worth, self-concept, self-confidence, self-belief. All these concepts work hand in hand. They are like muscles. The more you use them, the stronger they become. You gotta start somewhere, even if it's just a little believe in yourself one day at a time and work your way up to becoming the super confident woman that you want to be. So guys, that is it. Let me know what you think about this video. Make sure you watch another video, subscribe to this channel, and so I see you next time. Take care of yourself.